And you can start whenever.
Okay. How we doing?
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. So I want to welcome everybody to the gathering, Terry's Travels. And tonight, hold on one second. Oh, okay, great. Um, Tonight we're going to go to Martha's Vineyard. So on the menu, we're going to have an oyster pan roast from the Oyster Bar Restaurant, base scallop pasta from the Black Dog Restaurant, Tisbury dump cake from the Hey, I'm on Vacation Too Cookbook, and then we're going to finish off with the Katama Curse, which is a cocktail from Cook the Vineyard, which is a magazine on the island. Now, if anybody knows me, I used to have a house on the island. I was married on Chappaquiddick. So we have a lot of history with the island. And so tonight is going to be a really fun show because we'll explore the island while we're cooking dishes from cookbooks, actually from the vineyard. So we're going to start with the Tisbury dump cake. And what I have here is one 15-ounce can of cherry pie filling, one 16-ounce can of crushed pineapple with the juice. I have one box yellow cake mix. I have a half a cup of melted, half a cup of chopped walnuts and a quarter cup of melted butter. And what we're going to do is we are going to mix everything together. And that's why it's called a dump cake. And here is the cookbook that it's from. You see, it's from Hey, I'm on Vacation Too. And it's really, really a cute book. And it's from 1986. So that kind of tells you how old the book is. So I'm going to throw this over here for the moment. And when you're on vacation, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen, right? Because you're at the beach, you're on nature walks, you're sightseeing, and you'll see a lot of that with some of the slides. But because this has to be in the oven for 45 minutes, I'm going to hurry up and just dump it all together, get it all mixed up, okay? Which is very simple, 2 seconds. And, when you're on vacation and you're cooking, whether you're grilling or whatever you're doing, who doesn't want dessert, right? So I'll move this over here. I'm just going to put the cake mix, which is kind of, I don't know, I'm not a baker. So I'm not sure if using a cake mix is cheating. It probably is, but it's right up my alley because I'm not a baker. And I have to say, the older I'm getting more into sweets. So this
Well,
is
if that's cheating, that's my type of cheating.
I'm telling you, really. And I got to tell you, it's coming together pretty well and it smells delicious. So I'm going to really enjoy having this for dessert after we have this this wonderful meal. So I am going to put this in a greased 9-inch pan. And you can see how doughy it is. I don't know, when I first put everything together, I was thinking, gee, it looks like a whole lot of batter for this little pan over here, this 9-inch pan. But I think it'll work. And again, no electric beater because it's a dump cake, right? You just want to dump it all together, dump it in. And I have to say, I'm going to throw it in the oven. If it overflows, what are you going to do, right? But that's kind of cute, huh? So I am going to put
Yeah,
this.
and so super easy, right?
Yes, and that's what you want. I'm going to put that in, and that'll be ready 45 minutes. It should be ready around 10 of or so. So let me put these away. And then we'll get on to our next dish. And then what we can do is we can go through some slides and check out the island. So what we're going to do next is we're going to, you see my cute little Martha's Vineyard towels. There's one. Here's another one. So hopefully I'll get them nice and dirty tonight. So for the oyster pan roast, what we have is for the oyster pan roast base, we have 2 cups of chili sauce, 1 cup of whole peeled tomatoes with the juice from the can, 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1/2 cup of clam broth, and 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mix all that together, okay? So what I'm going to do is put this all together, right? And this is the base. And from the ingredients, you can tell it's going to have a little kick to it. Now, the Oyster Bar used to be a restaurant in Oak Bluffs at the end of Circuit Ave, and you'll see Circuit Ave a little later on. And it was an eclectic place to go back in the 80s and the 90s, and the owners made a cookbook. And here's that cookbook, okay, the Oyster Bar Restaurant Cookbook. And you can see the chic woman at the table having a drink. That's how it was. It was just fabulous. So this was one of their signature dishes. Now, you're just going to put everything all together for the base and the hot sauce. So this is going to have a little kick to it, which is pretty neat. Going to get these out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the pan and get this going, which I have right here. And I'm just going to easily put this in without breaking anything. And I have the big pan here because I have a lot of oysters, okay? Now, oysters, if you're really, I'm going to put this on, get this going a little bit. Maybe put it on medium heat. Let that start. I've got 2 pounds of oysters here. Now, what you can do if you're not big on opening up the shells and doing it yourself, you can get the canned oysters, which are very good, which is what I did here. And comes with beautiful juice. This will go in there with 4 cups of cream. And once that happens, we're going to ladle it into these bowls with these toast points. And what I did here with the toast points, these are little buns, right? Artisan buns, because they'll hold up better than the toast and they won't get all soggy like toast would. So that's what I did here. And I'm going to keep these over here for now out of the way. And I'm going to just stir this and make sure this is nice and blended. Okay. And then really, we'll let that go for a few minutes, and then we'll add the cream and the oysters. And while we're doing that, why don't you pull up the first slide, Ashley? And we will see Cape Cod, and you'll see the two islands. You'll see Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. And it all depends on what you like, how far you feel like going, because I know people that live in Chatham and they have a boat, they'd rather go to Nantucket because it's closer, right? But if you're in the lower Cape, I think the upper Cape, you're definitely closer to the vineyard. And then if you want to go to the next slide, you'll see a picture of the island itself. And you'll see all the main towns. You've got Chappaquiddick, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, Vineyard Haven, West Tisbury, which it's funny because Tisbury is really the same as Vineyard Haven. So it can be a little confusing, but that's the weird thing about it. Then Up Island, you've got Menemsha, and then you have Gay Head. So if you want to go to the next slide, you'll see the ferry. And the ferry is the Steamship Authority is in Woods Hole. And so you take the ferry from Woods Hole and you can go to either Oak Bluffs or Vineyard Haven. And it was founded in 1960, and it's a 45-minute ride. So that's pretty cool. Now, while you're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the pan. So I'm putting in the cream. Okay. And you can see how easy this is too, right? I mean, everything just comes together pretty good. And then I just will put the oysters in. There you go. Beautiful. It's always good when you don't drop things, right? Most definitely.
Yeah, and you don't want to drop the oysters. I think that's for sure.
You don't want to drop the oysters. And I have to tell you, I wish these pans were
clear.
See-through. I think they have them. I've got to look into it because it looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to just let that sit. So we can pull up the next slide, which is slide of Edgartown. And that's where we had our house. And the Edgartown was the first colonial settlement on the island. And you see, it's really picturesque, right? Ernie Bach, the car guy, he had a house right there on the harbor. And he was famous for his llamas. He had llamas that you could see in his yard.
Like the animal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the next slide is a picture of downtown Edgartown, which is really picturesque. Everywhere you turn, there's history at every turn. It's just beautiful. It was had a lot of captains back in the day. The next picture is the Edgartown Harbor Light, and that's the lighthouse near the Harbor Town, the Harbor Inn, Edgartown Harbor Inn, and Katama Bay. Now, Katama is a beach, and we'll see a slide on that a little later, but it's just beautiful. So we've got the soup going, and we've got the cake in the oven, and I think we could start the base scallop pasta. So let me show you what I have there. I have 1 cup of pasta water reserved from when I cooked the pasta. Here is the recipe called for 1 pound of base scallops, but I have 2 pounds because I like a lot of scallops in the dish. I have 2 tomatoes chopped, and then we had a little spill over here with the with the scallop juice. We have a pinch of red pepper flakes, so this is going to be a little spicy too. We have a 1/2 cup of white wine, and we have 5 garlic cloves chopped. Then we have, it's funny because we have a 1/4 cup of unflavored breadcrumbs, which we're going to put in the pan. That'll make the sauce a little thick. And then we have 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and we have parsley. So I'm going to put the olive oil in the pan, and I'm going to turn on the heat. And I'm going to turn it on, I want to say medium high. It's not high, but in between. Medium.
I have to say, I was so excited about this one in particular. I love these scallops.
Oh, awesome. And you see right here, this is the pasta already cooked. And I want to say, of course, when I was growing up, it was either spaghetti, macaroni, or the kind of macaroni. Spaghetti, if you're in a rush or you're preparing something the night before, cook your pasta, let it cool a little bit, put olive oil in there, or any kind of oil, really, and put enough that it becomes pliable, it stays pliable, it won't stick.
Oh.
Okay, now I can show you, this is heating up, but can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks better than my leftover pasta, I have to say.
That's how you do it, okay? Okay, now we start with a little bit red pepper flakes, okay? And we're not going to burn them, but we're just going to saute them a little bit, okay, in the oil, just to get them a little toasted. And then we're going to cook that. When that cooks for about a minute, we're going to add the scallops, the tomatoes, and the wine. Okay. And again, here's another easy dish, right? And you know it's going to be delicious because if you love fish and you love pasta and a little kick, because it's definitely, now if you don't want the little kick, you don't have to put it in for sure. But that's okay. We got that going in the oil. You probably, I don't know. We have to get a camera overhead for sure. We'll work on that. Okay, so I am going to add the scallops. Okay. Put that over here. Gonna add the tomatoes. And then I'm going to add the wine. Now, the wine, as you know, will cook off. The alcohol will cook off. So don't worry about if you're cooking it for dinner, for your children. They'll just grow up with great taste, right? That's all. This is beautiful. I think I can show you there.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Now, why don't you pull up the next slide, which is Chappaquiddick. And you'll see that Chappie is 5.5 miles from Edgartown. It's part of Edgartown. It's an island on its own. So you can kind of see that, right? And then the next slide.
Wait a minute, it's an island on its
Oh,
own?
yes. Oh, yeah. Right off. It's 5.5 miles off the coast of Edgartown. And it's part of the Vineyard. And you need to take a special ferry to get to this. Now, if you go to the next slide.
I did not know that.
Yep. You'll see the on-time ferry. And it's a 5-minute ride. Not even, it's actually not even a minute ride. But I have to share a story. When I was married, we, of course, we couldn't see each other. So my husband's family went over first. And don't forget, you had to go from the ferry, the main ferry, to Edgartown, and then you had to take another ferry to Chappaquiddick. Because I was married in my toy garden, Japanese garden. We'll show a slide coming up. But I got ready on the ferry, changed into my wedding dress. and then we were on the other ferry, and you could hear the little attendants on the on-time ferry go, "That must be the bride. That's the bride." And I'm like, "Yeah, hard tell. I'm the bride. I'm the
Gave
one
that away.
with the white dress on and the French braided hair." But anyway, that was funny. But you have to take a ferry there, and then you have to take the ferry back. And there's of course, that's where Ted Kennedy had his accident, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So the next slide will show my toy Japanese botanical garden. And this is where I was married. So this is on the way to Dykes Bridge where Teddy had his accident. So when
this is beautiful.
Yeah. So when you look at it, you see the bridges throughout the gardens, and there are gardens throughout. And you walk around the whole area. If you want to pull that up, I'm just going to stir the scallops a little bit. And these are looking beautiful. These scallops, by the way, are from the Cape. So so that was I got them. They were frozen as well. So I don't know if you could pull up those slides. Not sure if you have it up. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yep. So you can see how beautiful it is, right? And you just walk through it and yep, you want to go to the next one. The next slide, that's the actual bridge I walked over to go to the place, to the area where I was married. My dad walked me over that bridge. This was pretty neat.
Oh, how romantic. How awesome.
Oh, it was. It was really nice. And then the next slide is just another bridge throughout the garden, but you see the flowers. It's just beautiful. And way back in the background, they had the little Japanese hut type structure that you could go and just, hang for a little bit. People take their lunches and will sit in the benches and just enjoying it because it's just really beautiful. So the next slide would be the bridge that Ted drove off that killed Mary Jo Kopechne. Now, when he drove off that bridge, his car, as you're seeing it right there, his car went off to the right, which was deep. If his car went off the left side, that water is like hip level. She never would have died. But as it
Wow, what a stroke of luck.
Yeah. Terrible, terrible luck, because after Bobby, I mean, he was like next in line to run for president. And so you see, the bridge at the time had no railings whatsoever.
I'm shocked that you can. What if somebody was walking while you were driving?
Yeah, and well, don't forget, this was like at midnight, so it was pitch black, and he probably got disoriented where he was. They were drinking, they were partying. The next slide will show you what the bridge looks like today, because of course they amended that, and after the accident they put up barriers that if anyone crashed into it, you're not going over the side. So that was unfortunate. And the next slide, when you're back in Edgartown, this is closest to Chappie. This is Katama Beach. Now you see the waves, right? Those waves are real high. The undertow is unbelievable. I always had trouble going in and coming out. I had screwback earrings. My aunt's, great aunt's screwback earrings that came off.
Wow.
When I got knocked around. Yeah. It was bad.
Always going to be careful of the undertow.
Exactly.
That's a big undertow to do that.
Yeah, and today it is still the same. These scallops and tomatoes are looking real good, by the way. I am going to add the garlic and the parsley. Add the garlic and the parsley. And then in a second, I'm going to add just a little bit of the pasta water, because this scallop juice, it's soupy. So I'm not going to need much of that at all. So I'm going to let this go a little bit. And it smells beautiful. Oh my goodness. Don't pay attention to that. Can you hear me? I have no idea who'd be calling me. Oh, I'm so popular.
Now the juice, you only put it in to make it a tad bit juicy?
Yes, a little bit soupier, but I've got some good juice going here between the wine and the juice from the scallops. So I probably won't even need this. and you're going to thicken it up with the breadcrumbs.
Right.
That's what these are for. So I'll let that continue to cook. If you want to go to the next slide, you'll see the Katama Airport. Now, Edgartown has two airports, the Katama Airport, which is at the beach, which is this one. And this is for private planes. Okay. And you see the runway, which is a dirt road. Now you want to pull up the next slide. And that is the Edgartown Airport. And
yeah, a bit of a difference.
Yes, you've got your commercial jets that fly in and out. They come in from all over, basically.
Speaking of the Kennedys, didn't John Jr.'s?
He did. He did. He was flying. He was not really instrument rated, I believe. He was in the process.
Or just got it or something, yeah.
Right. And he got disoriented. And he took off at dusk, which was bad. And you're flying up the coast, there's no lights.
Right.
And when you're disoriented, you could be upside down and not know it, other than gravity, So that was just so unfortunate, so unfortunate. Yeah, that really hit home. That really hit home when that happened.
I think it did for a lot of people in Mass, for sure.
Oh my God, absolutely. And, when you look at, he opened up the Democratic National Convention the year that Dukakis was running. JFK Jr. opened it up and people went crazy because they wanted to see him.
I was going to say, because, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And most likely he would have, but not, Kennedy's boy, they call it the Kennedy curse because a lot of them just passed away, a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
When you think about it. But anyway, if you want to go to the next slide is my favorite beach, which is State Beach. And this, you'll see the difference between Katama and this beach. When we had Chelsea, that's the beach we used to go to. And what happens with this beach is where you park your car lateral. It's not like you pull in and you're side by side with other cars. It's the other way. You've got to pull in and you're lateral with the ocean. So wherever you park your car, you're not all that close to people. So it keeps you spaced out. You're still going to have people around you, but not like if
bumper,
you were
bumper.
parking diagonally, and you get more people on the beach. So that's nice. And because of that, you have to get there early because there are, now there are tons of spaces. It's a long beach. There are 19 beaches on the island, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So this beach is between Oak Bluffs and Edgartown. And if you want to go to the next slide, you will see the bridge from Jaws, and everybody jumps off it. It's, as you can see, this is where they jump off, all the kids. It's the highlight, right? They go up and jump off it. I've never done it. I have no desire it. But
how deep is it?
um, it's deep.
All
It's
right.
it's deep.
Maybe I would. I guess how tall is it is more my question.
Yeah. Well, you look at the pillars, right? So
Yeah,
you
that
got,
might be a little too high for me.
oh yeah, forget it. No, that I would not be doing that for sure. I'm going to take a look. This is looking beautiful. Oh my God. You're not going to believe the cake. The cake is looking good. I'm going to stir the oyster pan roast, which smells delicious, by the way. Oh my goodness. And these scallops, these are looking real good. Oh my goodness. Um, I'm going to put the breadcrumbs in there now so we can start thickening up the sauce. Now, this is from the Black Dog. Now, everybody knows the store, but they also have the restaurant. And, which, ta da, by the way, ta da, there you go. And that's the Black Dog Cookbook. And you can probably get it online. When I was there this summer, it was on sale. It was like $10. I was like, oh my God. And it was originally 35. So
I was going to say that's a fabulous deal.
add this. I have actually no lie. I had to count my cookbooks for something that I was that I was doing something for over the spring. And I think I have 870 something. I hate to say. Maybe
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'll be donating a lot of those for sure.
No. You got to get it to a cool 1,000 and just break that record right there.
Ooh, interesting. I don't think I'm going to need this pasta water because this is, it's thickening up already. It's beautiful. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to turn this down a little bit, let that simmer. And this right here, I'm going to turn down the pan roast a little bit. So that's going to be simmering because that's all done. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put, well, I'll bring the pan over to do that. Why don't we make a drink? Sound good? This is the Katama Cur.
I'm going to say it's always a good idea to me.
Absolutely. You see the little shot glass? Isn't that cute?
Oh, that is.
What I have here is blueberry syrup. I've got Prosecco. And I've got blueberries. Now, a cur is a French cocktail with black currant liqueur topped with white wine. This was invented by a guy in Katama, and it was in the magazine Cook the Vineyard, which is sponsored by the Net Result. Now, the Net Result is a shop where you go and buy all your seafood, which is just amazing. And that's all in the Martha's Vineyard magazine. So what you're going to do is you're going to put 3 tablespoons in the bottom. 1, 2, 3. And it says champagne glasses. No, I'm not doing that. I want a good drink. 1, 2, 3. Now, this is also a very pretty drink. So we're going to put this back here, put this over here, close that up a bit. I want to taste. Wow. That's really good. Then you're going to take your Prosecco and you're going to gingerly pour it. because you don't want it to really mix. You see that? See how it's staying on the bottom?
I do. That's cool.
Yeah. And it looks real pretty in a champagne glass, but like I said, I didn't want to do it. And then you want to, my hands are clean. And they float. So 3 or 4. Now, isn't this a fun drink? Now, come on. Who wouldn't like this, right?
No, that is wicked cute. I love it. I really do.
I love it. It's great. Yep. So there you go. Now,
I bet they would do really well with ginger ale too, if you wanted to do a mocktail.
yes. And especially for your kids, they'd love it.
Right?
I'm just going to take a sip. Very nice.
Do you have to stir it to get the blueberry sauce up?
You could stir it. You can get a straw, stir it, mix it up.
Start sucking it down with the straw.
But that's real pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So let's get back to the slides. Time's marching on. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Oak Bluffs. Now, Oak Bluffs, the first slide you're gonna see is the gazebo. They have a lot of events on this lawn. This lawn is right across from the Inkwell Beach, which I'm sure you may have heard of. We'll go to the next slide, which is, you'll see the gingerbread houses. Okay, now these were cottages. Carpenters made Gothic cottages with picket fences. 500 lots were sold between 1868 and 1871. And then they turned them into houses. Now, the next one is a famous one. It is a Valentine's cottage. Isn't that cute? And they call it that.
It's really, really cute.
Yeah, they have the houses on there. And then if you go
Do
to
people live in these?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, year round.
Oh.
And if you go to the next slide, you'll see what they call Illumination Night. Now, the third week in August, I just missed it by a week this year.
Oh, my goodness.
They light up all the cottages, and you go walking through, and they let you walk up to the doors, and you can look in. It is the coolest thing. And the next one is another picture. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I thought I had, nope, that's right. Okay, that's good. And the next slide is Circuit Avenue. Now, you look up here, right? Now, the Oyster Bar was all the way at the end on the right. But when you are driving down this street, you see how the cars are parked on the left? That's where you need to park to stop and go shopping and go to a restaurant. And if you're lucky, someone will back out while you're going down the street, and then you'll take their spot. And that's what you have to do. You have to ride around the town, either by the water or down Circuit Ave, and wait for a parking place to open up. And that's when you would pull in, and then you go out and do your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next slide is of the flying horses. And this was it was the first carousel in the country.
Oh.
It was created 1876. The horses have real horse hair. Their tiny lead animals are embedded in their eyes. The next slide will show you the horses. And it goes around, and you go for the brass ring. So we've all done that, and we've all gotten the brass ring. And when you get the brass ring, you get a free ride.
Yep. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yep.
They had
And
that at my grandparents as
yeah.
well.
Yep. And then you want to go to the next slide, which is the main street in Vineyard Haven, which is also called Tisbury, which is, like I said, really weird. But that's how it is. And, just another quaint town filled with shops, restaurants, things like that. You can also, next slide will show you what it looks like during the street fair. And every year they have the Tisbury Street Fair. And it's just, they have the vendors. This is, yep, those are the vendors off to the side. The next slide is just a picture of the ferry in Vineyard Haven. Now, I did mention the other ferry is in Oak Bluffs. So it's either you go into Oak Bluffs or Vineyard Haven, but that's what it looks like. That's one of the big ferries. And then the next slide will show you this year was the 161st Martha's Vineyard Agricultural Fair. Lasts for 4 days. They have rides, games, skillet toss, horse pull, all kinds of fun things and rides and food. So that's a fun thing. And then you want to go to the next slide, which is going up island. This is Menemsha, right by Gayhead. Gayhead's at the end of the island. So this is the fishing village in Menemsha. It's just so picturesque. No matter where you go on the island, it's just amazing. And don't forget, Jackie Onassis, Jackie Kennedy, had her house in Gayhead. And that's the next slide, which you'll see. Now, when you're, those are the cliffs that are just beautiful. Now, you can climb down those cliffs to the beach. It would take you maybe 3 hours to climb down there. But once you
take me more than 3 hours. I'm looking at these going,
Yeah, I know, truly. But once you get down there, it's like, a beautiful private beach, right?
Yeah, but then you got to get back up, right?
Yeah, true. But these are the Gayhead Cliffs in Aquina, and that's just another word for Gayhead. So that's that. And then the very last slide is the Gayhead Lighthouse. And you go, and they have all little shops that the Aquina, the Wampanoags, they have the shops, and you go and you buy souvenirs, and you take pictures of the lighthouse. Oh, this is thickening up. Beautiful. Hello, little girl. That's little Laverne.
Is the lighthouse a working lighthouse?
Oh yeah. Oh. If you saw in the picture before that, you could see the light. You could see the light. Oh yeah.
Okay. On. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's it for the slides. Oh, someone's calling me again. Woo woo.
Telling you're on TV.
Yes, right. So we're winding down. Let me check the cake. We're over here talking. Oh my, look at this. It's cake. We all know I'm not a baker, right?
That is cake.
That is
lovely cake.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to, you see the bowls, right?
Yep.
I'm going to come over here. And actually, one thing I did not get, my little ladle. And I'm going to just ladle some. Oh, this is beautiful. This absolutely smells delicious. And I don't know. I'm going to pour this over here if you can see it.
Yes. Oh, yes, I see. Oh my God.
That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to feel like I am back at this restaurant. Let me tell you. So I've got one of these on the bottom and one on the side. Wow. So this is beautiful. Yep. And then just another little bit there. And this is floating a little more. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let's keep that on there. And now I want to plate the pasta. So you can see that. Put this over here. I don't know. Geez, it's only, compared to other dinners, right?
Right, right.
I mean, other dinners, I've had 4 or 5 courses and I'm struggling with 3 over here.
That's because they all look amazing and need, equal show.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this over here. And this is just beautiful. I don't know if you can see this. And in fact, what I'm going to do, Ashley, look at this.
Oh, bam. There we are. Oh my God. That looks amazing.
Okay. There we go. There we go.
Yum, yum.
Yes. Make sure the stove is off. Off, 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 off. Whew. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard this. Being Italian, I've heard it said that you never put grated cheese on seafood for whatever reason.
I've actually heard that too. I don't believe it.
Cheese so much, I do it. So I don't really listen to stuff like that. See, here's my other Martha's Vineyard towel.
Love it. So cute.
Yeah, and this one is more of a restaurant type towel. But wow, so here we have Oyster Pan Roast Base, Scallop Pasta, and Tisbury Dump Cake, and Katama cocktail, which I'm going to take another.
If all of those don't scream, Martha's Vineyard, I don't know what does.
I know, truly. I know we have a few minutes left. Before I do anything,
just a few minutes, it looks like.
Just a few minutes. I want to always toast HCAM because I love you all for letting me do this, which is a lot of fun. So here's to you, HCAM.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. And I will see you again the end of January. And we're going to go to another island, but that's all I'm going to hint. And it's not in the country. So that should pique your curiosity a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that should be fun. And then we have the holidays coming up, right?
I was going to say, well, yeah, we have to, say happy holidays and happy new year and
all that jazz.
All of that fun stuff. That's coming up very quickly.
I know, truly. Your children must be so excited.
What kids aren't? I mean, the holiday season just bursts out of every child, I'm sure.
I know, truly. And it's so funny because you have, September marking the end of summer. But then as soon as Halloween hits, it just flies by.
Oh, I think as soon as school hits, it feels like we just started school. We're just getting in the rhythm of school, and next thing I know,
Yeah.
it's December.
Yeah, exactly. I do have to show the Black Dog established 1971. I was a junior in high school. So do the math.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. I know, but it's really funny, you think back and certain things and how fast time goes, like what you were just saying.
And that's what I think everybody tells me, especially about the boys, is goes faster than you think.
Absolutely. It does. They'll be in college next thing you know, right?
But he's almost on his way to get his license now, one of them.
That's crazy, huh? Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So I hope everybody, I want to wish everybody happy holiday season. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Ashley. It's always a pleasure spending time with you.
Thank you, Terry. And yes, happy holidays and happy new year. And
yeah. And again, just thanking HCAM for all you do, not just for me, but for all your programming for the whole town. So it's you're so loved by everybody. It's a good thing, gotta say.
Well, that's because we have programs like this that are absolutely amazing and make you drool while you're just sitting here.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Ashley. And we will be seeing you. Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Woo, woo, woo. Ah, beautiful. Here's to you, Ashley. We'll